Hey, welcome back to the SC-100 course. We are going to be looking at reviewing Azure policy compliant resources. We've learned how to assign an Azure policy. We've also learned how to create a custom one if we wanted to using some JSON. And what we're going to do is now, once your policy is assigned, how do you know how effective it is? You know, what resources are in compliance and so on and so forth. Because remember, Azure Policies helps you in terms of implementing zero trust and then also having that governance in your organization. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here to assignments because what I did was I set up an Azure policy. So the policy I went and searched for within definitions is require a tag on resources. So you can have require a tag on resources, like I mentioned before, and also on resource groups. So if I come here, I can see my Azure policy, which is the tag that is requiring. I can see the definition version. I can also see the scope. It's within my subscription Cloud Scholars. And then I also can see the parameters for this specific tag. Now for this tag, whereas the tag name is looking for is owner. So we are making sure that the resources within the subscription have an owner tag. Now, one of the reasons why you would want to do tags, just kind of a recap, is because it helps you with compliance, governance, and things of that nature. So if you want to make sure that a tag is in your environment for cost or so associated with a team, so that this way, when you are looking to run reports, you can easily identify that tag in your report in cost management. And now you can say, okay, hey, for this group, this operations team, A is costing us, $5,000 a month in terms of business operations. So in order to look at the compliance, we're going to come up here to view compliance. And then once you get into view compliance, here you will get a readout of what your tag is, excuse me, not your tag, but your policy is doing in your organization. So it gives you, the first thing that pops up here, you can see is compliant state and non-compliant. Now, it's only going to say compliant if all the resources a part of your policy are in good standings. Then it says overall resource compliance, 3%. So that's 1 out of 39. Then resource by compliance, you can see right here is 1 and then 38. And then it gives you some details. So down here, it will let you know exactly what resources are falling out of compliance. It gives you the resource type, details, and stuff like that. As you keep going down, you can see that we have quite a bit of different resources that do not have an owner tag associated with it. This is one of the reasons why it's so important that you understand scoping for your tags or your policies, because if I were to apply this tag at the subscription level and the team that I'm looking for to enforce this tag is all their work is done at a resource group level, I should properly apply this at the resource group level instead of at the subscription level. So it's really good to understand how to apply these Azure policies and make sure you know where and what you're doing it for. So down here, you can see the only one that has the tag is this NSG, right? Which is compliant for owner. Other than that, nothing else has it. So just wanted to show you how you can go about with the Azure policy and the tags and things of that nature, and see how you, once you assign it, we didn't talk about that in any other videos. Now, I'm about to jump a little bit out of the realm of SC-100, just in case any of you are real geeky like me and just want to understand and learn things. When you apply an Azure policy, they do take some time to replicate in your tenant. So some of the things that you can do, one thing you can do is run an Azure CLI command. And what this command can do is you have 3 different levels where you can now force Azure to run Azure policy scan in your environment. Now, if you were to apply a policy, and I've done this a bunch of time with clients, and you're waiting around, sometimes it could take a couple of hours for that policy state to now run in your organization and for it to now give you a readout of how that policy is being affected in your organization, or how many resources are affected, and if they're in compliant state. Now with the Azure CLI command, we'll speed that up. So there's 3 levels here. So it's a trigger evaluation at tenant level. So that's the AZ policy state trigger scan. Then there's also trigger at resource group level where you would say the scan, but then you would also have another parameter there for resource group, and then you would put your resource group name in. And then you could do it at the subscription level as well. So I just wanted to throw a freebie out there for you, just in case any of you are want to understand a little bit more and you're more techie, then yeah, you can run these commands in the Azure CLI. But this is not a question they're going to ask you in SC-100. But I am throwing a little bit of extra credit there for any of those individuals who want to know. So now you understand how you can review the compliance state. So when you do run across any questions within the SC-100, you will be have a better understanding of how to approach it. So compliance state, I think there was like 1 or 2 questions around that. It's not a lot when they're asking you about that. But at the same time, the more you know, the better chances you have of passing those tests, because it can be pricey. It's like $100 and something for the test. So I want to thank you for watching this video. I believe the information I provided you was beneficial. If you have any questions or anything like that, I am happy to hear from you in the comment section. Please do not be afraid to reach out. Once again, my name is Kieran Tross, and I want to thank you for watching. Here at Cloud Scholars, my goal is to get you from scholar to consultant, and of course, consultant to expert. Thank you, and see you next time.